Hey there, I'm back, you're back. Welcome back to the cappuccino tier where I'm educating on being a new trader, what that entails. Today, I'm going to go over some more terminology, about 8 more terms, but while I'm doing it, we're going to jump on the charts and we're going to kind of do it together and mix and mingle there. So you're going to see me, I worked really hard the past day and a half, putting some information together for you, which I will throw in a document here on this tier, just like with the terminology part one. This is terminology part two, but we're gonna hit the charts as well. So let's see how it goes. I'm either gonna like pause and edit it a lot, or we're just gonna go through it and see how it goes. I want to show you some important things, terms you're going to hear. And like I've stated in the past, some of these things are not in my strategy, but they're going to be things you want to know. You're going to hear them. So kind of been maneuvering through this myself, but let's get at it. So here's the perfect place to start. One of your major tools is going to be something called tradingview.com. This is going to give you a free chart so you can analyze the market. And I know that sounds scary. I'm going to make it so it's not scary. And I realized last night that I'm going to do a video on how to set up the chart. So some of the basics look like mine. And then when you go to trade my strategy on the latte tier, I will show you exactly what to add to it. So it is the same as my chart. And then so we're on the same page. But so you're going to type in tradingview.com, going to be your Bible, save it, put the icon on your screen or bookmark it. So you're going to come here and you're going to come to products. Okay, and to charts. I don't know what lately it's been saying super charts. I'm not sure why, but it's been saying charts. And they did. They don't really want that on there just this second. Let's go to let's just go to my favorite, because you know I'm a US 30 trader. I just realized in the so I have TradingView Pro, so I have like a lot of bells and whistles, and you're not gonna need all that. Let me just go to my regular list and bring up my fave, which is this guy right here. So what I want to go over nice and slow, let me get rid of all these lines and things that I was talking about. EP is just my abbreviation for entry point. I was going over some demo trades with somebody on the Zoom recently. I just lost my train of thought. We are going to get rid of these indicators. So let's remove those. I removed everything from my screen. And let me get rid of I'll leave my face for now. I'm just going to click on this top tool over here to get rid of all these pairs that you see. So it's not distracting. And there we have a bigger screen. And I have a touch screen, so it makes it pretty easy to maneuver. And I forget if on some of my other videos, we talked about time frames. So these are, every chart has different time frame. These candles represent D for day candles. Each candle represents how the market moved in a whole day. Here's a day, here's a day, here's a day, here's a day. 4-hour chart now, boom, each candle represents 4 hours. Every 4 hours, a brand new candle will populate or print, as we say. But what I'm looking for, the very first thing I want to talk to you about when you come to TradingView, and I promise I will do a video on how to set up your screen, because I think if you log in, you're going to get white and you're going to get all this mess. So just focus on what I'm saying today. And I feel like my next video kind of coming up with ideas as I go. I have kind of an outline, but then when I get training here, I'm like, we got to cover that too. So I think the next one might be how to set up a basic chart. But what I'm going to talk about today is something called a trend. And you will see the market, the candles are going up and down. If you see them going up sharply like this, we would call this an uptrend. It's not difficult. Okay. If you see it kind of like floating and not doing too much, that's called consolidation, where the market and the buyers and sellers, I try to break it down. The buyers and sellers are just kind of going back and forth. Not a lot is happening every 4 hours on this 4-hour chart. Not a lot is happening. And then you see the market dropped, kept going down every 4 hours, way down, and then went back up. So these are just trends. The price is moving. These are just trends that you want to be cognizant of, right? If the price is going up, I did not mean to do that. If the price is going up, you don't want to be in here selling it because it's going the opposite way of what you want. So we're going to talk about how to identify all this, how we know where it's going, how we know when it's going to stop. I got you on that. And this is where we're going to make money. Remember, my previous videos are, we're going to make money whether the market is going down or whether it's going back up. We can make money all day long. I legit trade one pair only. I trade the US 30, which is another name for the Dow Jones, the 30 top businesses, corporations in the US. That's all that I trade. You can trade anything. You can trade crypto, you can trade metals, you can trade different stocks, and you can trade obviously the currency pairs. But I want you to be cognizant of these trends. And I learned from someone in the past, a trading guru, he always said a chart is a chart is a chart. So we can go to any chart and see the same thing. Oh, I did not want to show that. We're going to come back to that. Look at that. This is silver. XAG is silver. The price of silver is going up. It's going up. This is between March and April, the end of April, because the market is so volatile that people were taking their money out of stocks, taking their money out of where they might have had it, and starting to buy some silver, which they see as the term is safe haven. You see it as a safe haven, like my money will be good right here for now. So a lot of people were buying for a whole month, were buying into silver. Prices, I don't know what I was doing here. I was showing something right here, I guess. Let's get rid of that. Price started to drop again, and now it's kind of leveling off a little bit. But again, I'm going to teach you all about these trends. But I just want you to, I was definitely on here. I want you to recognize, like, see how the market's moving. We can go to the hour chart. See what it's doing every hour. The market is always moving like time or water. Like it's always just like a river. It's just, excuse me, always flowing, always doing something. And I slipped over to the hour chart. So each of these candles represents an hour in time. This is what it did I have military time, sorry, at 9 o'clock on Monday night. This is what it did at 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock. And each candle on this hour chart represents an hour. So you can see and recognize those trends on any pair. We can go to the dollar versus the yen. Again, you'll see these trends. We'll talk about candles like these. What the heck are these? We'll talk about that because you want to know. This would be a good trade to be in for a buy. The greenish aqua color teal color is my buy candles. You can change these candles to whatever you want. Obviously the red are sell candles. So I'd want to be in this sell, right? I'd want to be in this buy, maybe starting right here. What's going on? So those are trends. The other thing that I want to go over is something called support. There's two components of that. There's support and there's resistance. Support is like a floor of a house. Okay. you can see at some point where, I don't know what this is. Let's get rid of this. This was obviously some other training. Let's go to the 4-hour, just because it might give a better representation. You can see on here, these candles all seem to stop in this general vicinity. Boom. Let's get it. Let's grab a horizontal line. No. Nope. Basically, what you need to trade my strategy is really just a horizontal line. Believe it or not, there's a whole bunch of tools here. There's a whole bunch of things you can draw and measure. I trade with a horizontal line, and I will show you how I do that. But I'm going to put one right here. Put it right. I'm going to zoom in a little bit too. I'm going to put that right there. I'm going to lock it. I'm going to hit this little lock. There's something that you just learned. And you can see, I'll call this a bus stop, because I do in my training. You can see this guy. This guy stopped here. This is a candle we talked about. Candles in the last video, and it threw a wick all the way down here to this line. But look what else happened on this line. This guy stopped here. This guy stopped here. These guys stopped here. This little wick right here got thrown to here. Okay, this one stopped here. This is a form of support. And then the market went all the way up. So it's not, let's go to the day chart. It went so far up that it's not on my chart. And then it went all the way down. So here's my line. Now we're on the day chart. Oh yeah, UJ was really, really going up there. Let's see if we can find some more. Price really dropped. This probably is not a good example. Let me just go out to a bigger time frame. I'm going to go to the monthly chart. See if we can show. Well, the support and resistance was up in that area, but let's find another support and resistance down here. Like what's happening? What's happening down here? Right here, you see it again. You can see it again right here. Where was that mark? Right here. Let's change this to a different color. Boom. Price hit here, got stuck. Price hit here, got stuck. Got stuck. Had a hard time here, got stuck. Back here, bus stopped again. Right here, bus stopped again. Got stuck here, got stuck here. This right here is the support. It couldn't go through. Then it did. Then it couldn't get back through. We're looking for areas where the market is getting stuck going down and can't get all the way through. And then on the way up, it can't break through the other way. So this becomes now support. This line that was once, I just lost my, that was once support and holding up these candles. It's having trouble breaking through, having trouble breaking through. And then on the flip side, so this is the floor, it hit that floor. Let's go back out to the 4-hour. And the same on the flip side, okay? If you think of it as a ceiling, let's go to another pair, because I know that this was really high. If you think of this as a ceiling, right? And now it can't break through. This is called resistance, okay? Support is, it's supporting you up like a floor. Resistance is like a ceiling where it can't break through. So let's take a look at that. Let's see if we can find an example where there is some resistance. We'll just take this line from whatever that was, and we can move it right here. So you can see that this is a form of resistance. The candles could not break through, tried with that wick. It meant that buyers were coming in, but deals weren't being closed. Tried again, it tried again, it tried again, tried again. News came out, these are news candles, boom, done for the day. Okay, more news came out. I can tell because these are huge candles. Nothing, you and I are not going to move the market like this. Okay, market came up, stayed up. Market tried to come back down again. This is another form of resistance. I mean, support. Came down, stopped, came down, continued on its way. So you can see that all throughout the charts. You can almost start to visually see it. Did I lock this? No, you can almost visually see it, like what's going on here. It's resistance, 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 resistance. Finally, is it popping through? Is it popping through? It finally broke through. Heavy news carried it down. Lots of volume carried it down. Lots of sellers in the market. Same thing, broke back through. Now you can see again, it's a form of support. It's holding it up like a floor. Okay, and now right here, it's another form of, let's get rid of this. It's another form of resistance. Can't get through, can't get through. Finally, volume carries it through. I mean, you can just see this all the way through the charts. All the way through the charts. You can see that they're literally just lining up. And what you're going to start to wait for is for the market to make its move. Okay, make its move down or make its move back up. Look how these candles right here. Like, I want you to start getting on the charts and just playing around, and you can see what's happening here. I took all my indicators off. What's happening here? Clearly the floor for support. And you can find this anywhere. You can find this on any chart. Here we are with, I just popped over to Bitcoin. Can you see it? Can you see this right here? Can you see this resistance? Can you see the ceiling? Boom, 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 boom. Can't get through. Can't get through. Once it gets through, man, it's going to go. But it could not break through. So those are the types of things that we're looking for with downward trends and a lot of downward trends with Bitcoin. Except back here, upward trends and those supports and resistance. Those are the terms you're going to hear. I honestly do not talk about them in my training, but these are some basic terms. I don't talk like that. When you get on my latte training, you're going to hear exactly what I talk about. The 1, 2, 3 indicators that I use and the one theory. And honestly, I trade with a horizontal line and go, yeah, this is good. Let's get in. So again, I have this all typed out for you, and I'm going to provide that. There, I found a little chart that actually talks about support and resistance, so you can take a look at that. Let's move on to candles. Let's move on to the size of these candles. Let me just go to a currency pair. Let's get rid of this guy. Yeah, I will have to do a video on how to maneuver these charts. There's a YouTube video out there that I send to people. I direct them to this YouTube video on how to use all the tools. But I kind of feel a little bit different if you want to learn a lot more about the charts. But I think I'm going to do my own training to show you what I use, some quick little tips. But honestly, as you can see, each of these has multiple things that I honestly have never used. I use a ruler a little bit to measure, oh, that's not what I want. I use the ruler to measure, why is that not working? Okay, that's not what I want. I don't know why that's not working. Let me try it one more time. To measure, okay, I had to stop and drag. And it literally will count the pips for you. It will count how much movement has gone on the charts. I'm totally, I guess I need more practice using that myself. Okay, I had stopped it. So it will tell you how much the candles have gone down. It counts the pips for you. So 108 pips. So then you don't have to do the math yourself. But what was I talking about? So these candles, right? These candles are a component of technical training. Looking at the charts and talking about movement is all technical trading. Okay. Versus fundamental, which is news and what's going on in the world that affects the candles, or sentimental trading, which is fear, you want to get in. You just feel it. You know, sentimental trading is super emotional trading. So again, each time frame up here represents what you're going to see on the candles. We're on the 4 hours. So each of these candles is 4 hours. The candles can be, I've tried to keep it super short and super simple. You can see these candles are all different sizes, right? These candles are all different sizes because sometimes there's a lot of volume. There's a lot of people in the market, excuse me, buying and selling. And sometimes there's not. So the question is, who's in the market? Well, there's you and me. We're called retail traders, but the main money makers, movers, and shakers in the market are the central banks, institutional investors, and fund managers. But it's mostly those banks who are making the move. And again, this is driven by news. This is driven by who's in the market, the time of the market. There are 4 different markets out there. The 2 most heavy hitters are the London market, which is 3 a.m. our time, and of course the New York market, which opens at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so you might hear terms like volume, volatility when there's news. It's all about expectation. The news will drive the market. These are driven by news candles, people speaking, world leaders. Again, this is a global market. So there's a lot going on. It's just not New York City traders or something like that. This is a global market, central banks around the world. You will see lots of patterns and hear about a lot of different names for these candles. And I believe what I've done, yeah, there's a pattern called, I just threw a chart in here, head and shoulders. A lot of people talk about head and shoulders. I do not talk about head and shoulders, just how the candles are forming, like you're going to know what it's going to do next. W's and M's. Again, I do not trade to that. I never, ever have. But if you're interested in that, what I did is I threw a link in here. So you could learn more about candle bodies if you wanted to do that. Again, this is not how I trade. I don't look for anything hidden in these candles. In my latte training, I'll show you what I'm looking at. So the next term is something called a pullback. And a pullback is when the candle suddenly goes, like if you're sure it's going to go into a buy. You're sure it's going to go into a buy. And here it goes. Here she's going up into a buy. This big bad boy right here. We're talking about this one right here. Going in for a buy, going in for a buy. And now all of a sudden, it has gone all the way up because this thick candle body would have gone, chunky part would have gone all the way up here. And now it's dropped back down. And this is something called a pullback. that candle, this candle pull back, this candle pull back. Well, why does that happen? You know, if sellers and buyers are entering the market, it's super volatile. So things are going to happen. There might be more buy orders than sell orders and vice versa. But what typically happens is that at the top of every hour, you're going to see some changes. So 20 minutes before the hour, I don't know if we're on the hour chart or not. 20 minutes before the hour is when, if you're pretty sure like there's a sell going on and you're in a sell, 20 minutes before the hour, there'll be something called a pullback where the candles will start to go in the opposite direction of what you're pretty sure it's going to go in. And then like magic at the top of the hour and just after the top of the hour, the candles will continue to go in the direction that you felt that it would. And I'm just going to leave it at that. This is not how I train. This is just what I've learned. But if you know you're in a buy, here's a good example right here. You're in a buy for the hour chart, and then look what happened. That candle decided to pull back. I was grabbing my arrow. So this candle decided to pull back. Not really where I want it. You come up here. This candle decided to pull back a little bit, right? It went all the way up here to this wick right here, and then it pulled back a little bit. Hour chart, top of the hour. Then it continued on its way because we knew, because what I've taught you, we knew it was going to be a sell, and we knew it was going to be a sell for several hours, at least 2 4-hour time shifts, or even for the day. We saw that coming. I would teach you how to identify that. So you might be up a few dollars, right? You might be up in a trade, we call it, so positive or blue. And then you might be up $50. And then you check, you know, it's just before the top of the hour, and now you're down 20. You're like, what happened? So you have to stick to your trade, stick to your mindset, knowing that's going to continue, because if you're like, oh no, I'm going to get out, and you eat that $20, and then you continue seeing it go in the direction that you wanted. Nobody wants that. So do your analysis, stick to it, and we'll get into all that after. But this is what's called a pullback. Went all the way down, pull back. Went all the way up, pull back. Down, pull back. So there you go. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the currency pairs themselves. So there are, again, 7 major pairs, and I don't know how many minor pairs, and then exotic pairs. When you're talking about them, you might hear them be referred to in sort of a shortened, abbreviated version of their name. So we're not saying, oh, what trade are you in, Cindy? Oh, I'm in the US dollar versus the Japanese yen. Well, we're not going to say that. And we're not even going to say, I'm in USD JPY, because it takes too long to say. So the trader lingo is UJ. You're taking the first letter of each pair. I'm in UJ, or I'm in oil, or I'm in BTC's Bitcoin. I'm in GU, the Great British Pound, in the US dollar. I'm in GU. So you're shortening those names, okay? So you're going to hear that term. If you hear people talking, just like spouting out a bunch of letters, that's what they're talking about. They've abbreviated the currency pair names. The next thing on my list is we are known as retail traders. I think that I said that before. Oh, I did say that before. So it is the movers and the shakers that are making the candles act in this way. Price volatility. These are the banks. These are the institutional investors. These are heavy hitter investors like Warren Buffett or John Bogle from Vanguard. Those are the people who, in their crew and their posse, making all this happen. You know, again, Forex trading is a $7 trillion a day market. We just want a little. We just want a few hundred, a few thousand, 5 figures. We want something because we want to be here too. We have the right to be here. Banks don't like us here. We have the right to be here. And with my strategy, what I've discovered and what I've confirmed is that my strategy follows when the bank gets out. It follows exactly what the banks do. These candles don't stop here for just any old reason. And I will teach you why they stop there, what these numbers mean, why they're stopping at that price, why these wicks are going where they're going and stopping and pulling back. I'll show you how to measure all that with a horizontal line so you know how to trade with the banks. And that's exciting, you know, and sometimes it's mentally tough, and sometimes it's the best thing in the world, and sometimes you're like, what am I doing here? This is a way to get your time back, your freedom back, and you do belong here. So I'm going to continue to teach you how to do that. Yeah, I've talked about how these are institutional candles, how these are bank candles. Sometimes we call them engulfing candles. They eat up all this space. Like engulfing, like it's on fire, like too many candles on a birthday cake. Just a couple more things. Want to talk about something called imbalance. I want to talk about something called imbalance. And let me go to that chart that I had drawn up. Sure pops. It's not here now. Oh, wait. Is it gone? Okay. I know I saved it somewhere. Imbalance. I want you to think of imbalance like this. When a new candle is printed, what's going to happen is it is eventually going to fill in the space of the previous candles. If it was down here before, candles and wicks candles are going to come down and fill that space. It will just come and get that eventually. Like you can see, it hasn't come to get this yet. Hasn't quite reached it. What I just added. Because I was not super paying attention. Hasn't quite, oh, it did. Almost. Mark it right here. It almost came to get this full space. But think of it as like a Tetris game where you're filling in all the spaces. Okay. These candles came and you can see filled this space right here. This space right here was filled and taken by this candle. Okay. All the spaces are being filled. This space right here was filled by this candle. This candle came up to here, and then eventually this candle came up and took this space. And look what happened. This wick came all the way up and regained this space. Now it still has to fill with a full chunky candle, and it will, but it's filling in the pieces like a Tetris game. So this is called imbalance. This is when maybe there are more buy orders in the market or sell orders in the market, and they didn't just quite get filled. So they will. All of this space will be filled eventually, and you can see that this came all the way down to here, and this was filled. Now this little bit right here was not filled, but it's filling in spaces. It's not going to leave a gap. The market will come back to get that. So again, someone had in the past had said it's kind of like a Tetris game. So those spaces will be filled in. So this is, it's a weekend now. So this is Friday. Oh, this was a candle for silver. on Friday. So when the market opens on Sunday night, tomorrow night, Australian time, the market will open. Okay. And it's a global market. So the market is open almost 24/7. So a new candle will populate right where this little dotted line is going. A new candle will start. And we'll see what happens. It seems like it's still on a downtrend. It's trying. There's some right here. There is some resistance. Okay, it kept stopping here. It was support here. Now it's resistance. And if it can break through, then it will continue on its way until it comes back up here. And you can see this is clearly resistance. It hit the ceiling again. So we'll see if it breaks through. So you're just kind of being mindful of those things, but also of that imbalance. Know that it's going to come and fill this space up here. It will. And we'll be waiting and we will take advantage of that opportunity. I think, and I also took a picture of exactly what you're looking at. So I'm going to throw this document into the cappuccino tier. And I think, I'm not 100% positive that the next training that I do will just be how to maneuver on these charts a little bit more. How to maneuver a little bit more on these charts, how to get in and out, so you can play around and start to feel confident with that. So let's meet next time, and I can't wait for you to get the basics under your belt. I'm going to throw out all the basics that I can think of. It will probably be several videos. And again, I'm teaching to my strategy. So I'm not teaching every little tiny bit of information about Forex. How overwhelming is that? How overwhelming is that? But I will try to provide links of things that you might want to know. And you can certainly reach out and ask me. Also on this tier, I'm going to be doing some weekly training, because I realize I just can't show you these videos and have you go on your way. You really need that interaction. And that's what I want to provide to you. An evening or an afternoon, I will have some office, I'll call them office hours. And I know a lot of you are working, and we can just sit down and knock some things out. Very low key, kind of learn at your own pace, and we will get on that. I'm super excited about that. And I was just looking for this. So I hope you did not find that too overwhelming. These terms will be again on my platform, and for you new traders, which is why you're here. This took me, this took me 2.5 months to get the nerve to open up my live account and really start trading. Then I did really well, highs and lows. And it wasn't until maybe my second year in where I just, it started to click, and I just started to do it on my own, and still listening to people in the background, but going, what I'm doing is working. And that's what I want to show you. And that's why I came up with my own strategy, the latte strategy. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. All right, guys. Thanks.